Christmas time is a special time. Christmas time is here. Christmas time is a joyous time. It's my favorite time of the year. Hey everybody, season's greetings. It's me, New York vocalist Benita Charles, here for another episode of Singing Tips. How is everyone doing this holiday weekend? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful festivities. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And it is me, New York vocalist, here again for another episode of Singing Tips. Hi, Rich. How are you? Good to see you. Season's greetings and happy holidays. Every week, I give singing tips to beginner singers to help them become professional. And this is a special singing tips because it's the holiday season, and I love the holiday season. I posted something a little earlier. I was walking the streets of New York, the lights and on the trees and the beautiful trees in the stores, and people were happy. This is a wonderful, wonderful time of year. So I hope that you're having a great holiday, and I'm glad to be back for another episode of Singing Tips. So if you're not familiar with Singing Tips, every week I give tips to beginner singers, and I'm helping them prepare themselves to get out there in the world and just rock the world and change the world with their music. And I have a special vision statement that I created, and I'm going to share with you every week now. So the vision of my company, which is Star Entertainment New York, is to create music and entertainment to inspire and ignite passion in people to change the world. So that's what all of this is all about. Everything that I do is to inspire people to share their gifts to the world. So we're talking to singers, but that is for everyone. So whatever your gift is, I want to inspire you to share it to the world. But right now we're focusing on singers. And hello, how is everyone doing? I hope that everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. Oh, I see I got a thumbs up. All right, yes. So this is Singing Tips. And just to give you a little bit of background, I was inspired to design these tips, not only to give songwriters, singers, and, just a guide, but also to just let people know like what exactly goes on behind the scenes, because you have your favorite artist that's out there, but you just don't know all the components that goes with being a professional singer and what they have to do to prepare themselves. So we are starting from the ground level, and now you see exactly what it takes. It's a lot of work. So I was inspired to design the show a certain way by a movie that every week I tell you I am going to promote this movie. It's Get On Up, the story of James Brown. It came out in 2014. It stars Chadwick Boseman, Dan Aykroyd, Viola Davis. But it was just such a wonderful movie. And I see I got a thumbs up. So right? Exactly. And there was a point in the movie where James was talking to his manager, and his manager said to him, "This is show business. You take care of the show, and I take care of the business." And James Brown said, no, I'm going to do both. And that's exactly what he did. He put his own money and produced a live show that sold out, and he sold millions and made millions because he was smart. He had the show part and he had the business part. So here at Singing Tips, we have a show part and we have a business part. Right now we're in the show part. We've been in the show part for a while. We're on tip number 27. Can you believe it? Tip number 27. So just to give you a little bit more background, so the tips are divided by different segments. So far we had, the first segment was your talent, and that was the first 10 tips. It was all about how to prepare your voice, how to practice, get a voice teacher, learn songs, all that. So then the second section we had was live performance. So it's all about performing in front of an audience and, getting stage experience. And so this section, which is songwriting, is all about making your own music. And so all of the tips in this section has been all about songwriting. Last week, we talked about writer's block. Prior to that, we talked about how to make a hit song. We talked about, why it's important to make your own music. So this week, I thought we'd talk about protecting your work. So, what do you mean protecting your work, Benita? What I mean, I'm answering my own questions, yes. But what I mean is copywriting your material. Now, if you're not familiar with copyright, it's a legal document through the government, the Library of Congress, and this document is your protection for your work. So, a lot of people are afraid to put their work out there because they say somebody might steal it. But if you copyright your music, you won't have to worry about that because you will be protected. So if anyone, you put your music out and somebody steals it and they're making money from it, you can sue them. And when you go to court, you show that you are the legal owner of this song, and you could get damages, and they will definitely have to acknowledge that you are the art author, and that's what it's all about. So I wanted to encourage you, now that you've been working on, all these weeks we've been talking about songwriting, but take a moment and register. When you finish your song, register your work with the Library of Congress. So I have a couple of reasons why you should copyright your material. So first of all, this gives you, like I said before, legal protection if someone tries to steal your work. Also, as the copyright owner, you have exclusive rights to the music, so you can do whatever you want. You can record it, you can perform it live, you can license it for someone else to maybe use it in a movie, and they have to pay you for it. Now, you might wonder, how do I copyright? So there is a website you go to, which is copyright.gov. And as a songwriter, there are two forms that you will use. The first form is called the PA, which is performing arts. So let's say you just wrote your song and you really haven't gone in the studio or anything, but you got the music and the lyrics to the song, and you can just do the melody. You can you can go to the website and you can either apply online or you can do it the paper. But it's more expensive to do it by paper, where you got to mail it and all that, and it takes longer. So you can find out the fees, because I'm not exactly sure what the fees are. But so you would register your song with the PA form. Now, if you've gone in the studio and you have a recorded version of your song, you would use the sound recording form. So those are two different forms, and it looks like this. You're not going to be able to read it, but that's the PA, and the other one says Form SR, which is sound recording. So those are the two forms you would need, and it's really quick and easy once you go online and they walk you through it, and it's really quick. But I would one bonus tip that I would say is for you to copyright it as you go, like as you finish your songs, because sometimes if you procrastinate or if you delay, you just don't get around to doing it. And I'm telling you from experience. And next thing you know, all this time has gone by and you haven't copyrighted it. So I think the best thing to do is just copyright as you create, because it's done, and that's the more protection for yourself. So it just sometimes when you procrastinate, you just don't get around to doing it, and then next thing you know, so much time has gone by and it's not copyrighted. And that way, it will be copyrighted within the same year that you created it as well. Now, I would like to mention I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's called the poor man's copyright. And what the poor man's copyright is you mail a copy of the song to yourself. The only thing about the poor man's copyright is it doesn't hold up in court. So you can do it, and it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I did this, and I mailed it to myself. I mean, that might be an option if you are a little low on cash and you just want to have something, but I think that you still should go ahead and take that final step and copyright your work. So, yeah, that's what we are talking about this week, copywriting your work. So let me go through, do a recap. So the first reason why you want to copyright your work is because it protects you if anyone tries to steal your work. So that's the number one important reason why you want to copyright as you go. Secondly, as the copyright owner, you have the rights to use that song however you want. You can record it. You can sing it live. You can license it for other people to use the song, and they have to pay you a licensing fee. You know, if you want to put it in movies or television shows and that kind of thing. And copyright it as you create, because that way you won't delay and don't get around to doing it, and then you find you it's been years or so and you haven't done it. So I would say to do it as you go, and then that way it's done, it's copyrighted within the same year you created it, and that's more protection for yourself, and you know, that's money on the table. And now that's why if you hear those stories about, you know, people signing over their copyrights to companies and they're, you know, don't know, and then they've lost millions of dollars, that's where the money is. The money is in the copyrights, because when you license that money, people have to pay you for that song. So that's why it's so important. So it really is important. So I want to encourage you to copyright your material. So that is going to do it for me. I hope this was helpful. Oh, I got a thumbs up, so you agree. Yes, exactly. So that's where the money is. And, you know, we're talking about show business, the show part, the business part. This is part of the business part as well. It's in the show part because it's like, you know, you need to do this. But this is actually like really the business part, because this is how your songs, this is how you track your songs, and then also how you generate income from your songs. And that's what it's all about. That's copyright.gov. Go on there, and I would encourage you to copyright online because it's cheaper and it's faster in terms of, I don't know, it may not be faster in terms of you actually getting the copyright, because it takes about a couple of months, but the process is a lot faster than you mailing. I guess they get it quicker than you mailing it in. So that's why it's really, really important. So thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. Oh, hi, Tim, you're just joining. Hello. Hi, my aunt and Uncle Paul. Hello. How are you guys? Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, so this week we were talking about copyrights, and I was telling the singers why it's important to copyright their work. And so one of the things that I was saying is that it protects your work from anyone trying to steal it. You have protection of your work. And so if you have to go to court, they won't ask for proof that you're the owner, and your proof is that copyright form. So once you copyright it, it's yours. And secondly, you could do whatever you want with that song. You can perform it live, you can record it, you can license it to other places to use it, and they have to pay you for that. And you know, we're still in the show part, but this is actually part of the business part, because this is how you make money with your songs. And that's why if you hear stories of people, you know, signing over their rights and losing their copyright and they're penniless, that's why it's so important, because this is where you draw the income from your song. And another point that I wanted to make was for you to do it as you go. Like as you create, do it, because sometimes if you delay, you don't get around to doing it, and you look up and it's been so much time has passed. And also when you do it as you go, you copyright it within the same year that you created it. And it's kind of really good for you to do that. So, yeah, that's what we discussed this week. It's all about copywriting, and also mentioned it's called the poor man's copyright, where if you can't afford to do it legally, people have mailed it to themselves. They mailed a copy to themselves, but it really doesn't hold up in court. But it's maybe something you can do until you get to the real thing. But I would encourage you to go to copyright.gov and copyright that song. Protect your work. That's what this tip is about. Protect your work. I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. I posted a picture a little earlier. I was walking the streets of New York. There were lights on the trees, and the holiday, people are in the spirit, people are smiling. It was such a wonderful, wonderful time. So I hope everyone's enjoying their holiday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope these tips are helpful. And you can go to Instagram, BCM Sings, click on the bio, and that will lead you to the Singing Tip blog. I archive everything. Go on YouTube. I put these shows on YouTube. So all of the singing tips are there. This was tip number 27. So we are counting down. This is all a songwriting section. So all the tips in this section is all about songwriting. And this week's tip was protect your work. Copyright your music. Go to copyright.gov and just copyright as you go, and you can't go wrong. So I hope that you are having a wonderful evening. I want to wish you well. And all I have to say is, you were born for this. You were born to sing, sharing love and joy. Spread your mighty wings, be free and sing. Share your gift to the world. Keep on writing, keep on growing, keep on just doing your thing and making the world a better place. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for being there for me and supporting me with these singing tips. I hope it's helpful, and I will see you again for the next episode of Singing Tips. Thank you for the thumbs up, and have a happy holiday season. Okay. Oh, thank you guys. Aw, thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.